It's Wednesday, October 13th, 2010. I'm Kevin McShann, and this is the McShann Sports Beat Report. Rules are meant to be broken, especially those that don't make a lot of sense to the common man. For Detroit Lions wide receiver Calvin Johnson and his teammates, they were able to engage, I'm sure, in a slight chuckle on Tuesday, when the NFL announced that they were prepared to review their official catch rule, which came into question during a 19-14 loss by the Lions in Week 1 of the NFL season, when it appeared Johnson made a spectacular one-handed catch in the back of the end zone to ice the game for the Lions late in the fourth quarter to end their 20-game road losing streak. However, upon official review, referee Gene Steratore said no catch. The play has been one of the most controversial and most discussed plays thus far in 2010. The play was ruled no catch after Johnson went to the turf with possession of the ball. He placed the ball on the ground and began to celebrate. The rule in question states, if a player goes to the ground in the act of catching a pass with or without contact from an opponent, he must maintain control of the ball after he hits the ground, whether in the field of play or in the end zone. If he loses control and the ball hits the ground before he regains control, the pass is incomplete. If he regains control prior to the ball hitting the ground, the pass is complete. Rich McKay, the president of the Atlanta Falcons and the co-chairman of the NFL's competition committee, said on Tuesday in Chicago at the league's fall meetings that the catch rule will definitely be discussed in the offseason. The going to the ground rule will definitely be discussed. It's been discussed the last couple of years. It's a difficult rule. It was made for on-field officials and not so much for people watching on TV, McKay said. Lions head coach Jim Schwartz said during his weekly radio interview on 97.1, the Ticket's morning show, after the loss in Chicago, that the NFL is constantly evaluating rules and that he respects the process they go through in order to maintain the integrity of the league and the rules that the game is governed by. They do that in the off-season. They have competition committee meetings Next, they review plays like that. They submit changes that they think should be made. It's voted on by the league. I think there's been tweaks of rules during the season, but that rule has come up before. They've tried to make it black and white rather than gray. I can appreciate their view, Schwartz said. Schwartz also said during his weekly press conference following the loss to the Bears, while he respects the interpretation of the rule, he still strongly believes that Johnson caught the football. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to look at that and say it was a catch. Now, it's also ruled an incompletion because of the rule. I think if 100 people look at it, 100 people say, yeah, Kelvin caught the ball, he said. Johnson says the Lions had plenty of chances to defeat the Bears in Week 1. However, they failed to capitalize on their opportunities when they presented themselves. And in case anyone was wondering, Johnson says he caught the football. The only thing I can say to the fans is that it's one game out of 16. We're going to try and bring it, but we do have to step it up a little bit. We can't go into any lapses coming out of halftime when we get the ball first. We have to be able to do something to at least put our offense in good field position. But other than that, based on the play, I caught it, no doubt. But that's the rule. They found a rule real fast, and they put it to use, Johnson said. They don't award moral victories, and the NFL doesn't specialize in sponsoring pity parties for the league's typical basement dwellers. However, with all that being said, referee Gene Steratore and the NFL robbed the Lions, and more specifically Johnson, of a game-winning catch based on a technicality. And while the letter of the law may have been followed in this situation, I admire the way Schwartz, his team, and the organization handled this very difficult situation. It doesn't take a brain surgeon to see that Johnson caught the football. If the system is broken, it needs to be fixed to ensure that we're not compromising the principles which make the NFL the kingpin of all of sports. Kevin McShann, Sports Beat, report.